I'm Scott Knutson, and welcome to my assistant editing reel. I was an assistant editor for Studio C and for a host of other commercials and online shows. For this video, I'm gonna do an assembly edit for a project and walk you through my process. But first things first, what is the difference between an editor and the assistant editor? Here is all the media you have for a project. You got video clips from different cameras, audio from a bunch of different mics. An assistant editor is the one that sifts through and organizes all of the raw footage and audio. The end goal being to make it as easy as possible for the editor to make the best video ever. The editor is the one that takes the pieces and shapes it into the end product that the director wants. Look at that little alligator, so cute. Assistant editing is organization and structure. Editing is creative and artistic. If you follow my process here, or just hire me, then I guarantee when your editor opens up your project for the first time, they're gonna go, "Dear God, it's beautiful." All right, step one. We're gonna jump straight into the Premiere Pro project file, and from here, we're then going to, wrong, do not do that. That is incorrect. We're gonna live in the folders for a little bit before we get into the Premiere stuff. This is the industry standard for file structure. We are going to take all of the assets of this project, video, audio, documents, and force it into this file structure so that everything is self-contained in one project. If we do it this way, then throughout the entire lifecycle of the project, as more and more assets get added to the edit, every single piece of media has a specific place to live in and nothing will go missing. You spend a few minutes working on this now so that you save so much time in the long run. So to recap, this is the main project folder. It's titled Easy A. That's the title of this commercial, this film. You mainly want to divide it into the working project files you're going to be opening up and working in, everything attached to it, and then you got your exported files, your deliverable. And at the beginning of a project, that's probably all you're going to have. You're not going to have VFX yet. You're not going to have coloring assets. Essentially, you're just going to have the raw footage and the raw audio. Only once you have your folder structure airtight, then we're going to open up our editor. I am using Premiere Pro. Pro tip, if you just go to Finder, go to your assets, and if you can just drag and click it all and jump it in there. And it'll one-to-one keep your folders into bins in your Premiere project. And this is a good way to do it because we want our Premiere project structure to match what is our actual folder file structure as well. Back to the edit. If the DIT didn't make proxies for you already, then that's gonna be step one. Proxies are just smaller clones of really big files. This is critical because while you're going through this, you don't want to crash your computer or make it lag into oblivion. So we're gonna deal with smaller footage instead of bigger footage. Luckily in Premiere, this is super easy. You're just gonna highlight all your footage, right click, proxy, create proxies. Now let's rename everything. Immediately after we've ingested all of our media into our editing software, we have two main problems we need to solve. One, all of our clips have crazy jumbled names that mean nothing to anyone. Two, all of our video files are disconnected from our audio files, so we gotta line those up somehow.
Synergy.
What we're gonna do is solve both of these problems at once using multicam clips. So I'm gonna highlight all of our footage and all of our audio. Once it's all selected, you're gonna hit create multi-camera source sequence. Because the audio guys named the clips correctly according to the shot list, I'm gonna use the audio clip name plus multicam. And I'm gonna see if this works off of timecode. When it comes to linking your audio and your video, you have three options. Your options are use the timecode that the footage and the audio shares, so that'll just automatically join exactly how it needs to. Other option is to use your editing software to link it by similar enough audio where it can go, okay, this is not the exact same waveform, but it's close enough, so I'm just gonna sync them right there. My last and least favorite is when you have to do it manually. You have to go in and locate a clap or a noise or a specific word, and you have to drag your audio and your video and link it that way. And oh, it is the worst. Back to my project, and luckily for me, they used timecode and I can use that here. Okay, it looks like Premiere created multicam clips pretty darn accurately, but I'm seeing there's a few audio and video clips that didn't get linked to anything. They're just kind of floating around in the ether. We need to determine what scene and take these clips belong to, link its companion audio video file, and rename it. So you just go through and I look for, aha, perfect. Looks like this is scene 9A take 2. So I'm gonna go in, hit 9A-002. You wanna name all of your clips, but another step of this is you also wanna name your audio tracks for your editor and for the audio guys. And sometimes this can get pretty nuts. Let me show you this other project I'm working on that's an unscripted game show, where they have 7 cameras and 12 audio tracks going at all times, which makes naming each of the tracks super critical. You need to go in and make sure that those microphones are consistent across scenes. Each one gets their own audio track. Then label them. This will help not just the editor, but potentially an audio expert who's gonna later do an audio pass to make it as helpful and intuitive as possible. Now, on to the final piece of the puzzle, what I consider to be the real meat of assistant editing. Or trimming the fat. Or cutting dead air. Whatever you wanna call it. Before you begin, you're definitely gonna wanna make sure you know what your editor prefers. Like, there's a million different good ways to do this same thing. I'm just gonna go over what I have found to be the most visually intuitive. Take all of your clips and drag it onto a timeline. Then, arrange the clips in script order. Since everything is named already, this should be pretty easy. Start from scene 1, take 1, and work your way up. Then throw all of your B-roll and voiceovers and other stuff at the end. Unless there's a specific spot where you know the B-roll is gonna go, then just cram it in there. This is your string out sequence. Literally every recorded second of video and audio lives here. Everything. Once all that footage is there, we're done with the string out sequence. We're moving on. Nice. Now we'll duplicate our string out sequence to create our assembly sequence. In the assembly edit, first we're going to mark all of the clips and then we're gonna trim down the clips. I like to mark my takes with 4 different colors. Red indicates a bad take.
Easy A isn't a crash-inducing energy drink, or that, sorry.
Green is any good usable take. Gold indicates what I think as the assistant editor is the best take. And then blue is for bloopers.
Since the invention of Wi-Fi. And
it's important to go through every second of this. In this step, not only are you marking good takes, you are also hunting down potential problems like a hawk. Like, do these different scenes have mixed frame rates? Are there any corrupt clips or files? When you're looking at the script, are you missing any scenes? Are there any worrisome audio issues? Trust me, higher ups want to know this information sooner rather than later, especially if you're in the middle of shooting and you're providing dailies. So as you are reviewing and marking all of the footage you have, you will also be trimming it down by deleting dead air. Dead air is basically everything before action and everything after cut. All of that stuff is just unusable, nothing footage that an editor doesn't need to review. Get it out of here. What that leaves you with is an assembly sequence with every single scene, every single take, marked by color indicating how useful that take is in script order. This sequence is incredibly helpful for editors and directors when they want to quickly sift through takes and pick the best one. And that's it. That is the assembly sequence, which leads us to our next step, selects. To make our select sequence, we're gonna take our assembly edit, duplicate it, and then trim it down even further. We will reduce this sequence to just the best takes, 1 take per scene. This sequence is gonna be the prized possession of the editor. If we do a good job picking the best takes, then imagine how easy their job is. Everything's already in order, already the best scenes are there. They'll just need to work their magic and then make a final product out of it. And then last and least of all is the blooper sequence, if your team cares about this. And that's super easy. You're just gonna go back to the string out sequence, duplicate that, and then delete every take that isn't a red bad take or a funny blue blooper take. That's it, just squish together. From there, try to think of some project-specific ways to go the extra mile for your editor. For example, if you're assembling an edit for a commercial and the client sends you branding guidelines, create a new sequence that has ready-made slides of the colors and fonts that they asked for. Good boy, Harvey. Do you want to go the extra mile? Oh, tummy rubs. Duplicate your sequence that has all of your selects on it. Throw a LUT on it so that the color looks somewhat decent, and export that. Often, directors and producers want dailies. They want to see what was captured on the shoot the day before, or maybe what would be helpful is you find a bunch of temp audio tracks that the editor can use and reference while they're doing their edit. And there you have it, folks. Your editor will love you if you do this. Maybe even give you a little smooch. One last caveat to all of this is that different organizations do have different definitions for assistant editors in the first place. Other companies, assistant editors will do stuff like, okay, then make promos. After the editor edits, send it to audio, send it to color, send it to VFX. Then once they're done, put it back in and online the media. It's also DIT. Some even do rough cuts for the editor. I kept this video very narrow to what are the fundamentals of true assistant edit work, just the assembly stuff. So there you have it. Hire me, or you're welcome for making you the best assistant editor in the world.